Alright, welcome. So today we're here with TERRA doing a quick build video, so let's get into it. I do want to start with Conquest, and then after that I'll go into Arena and other casual game modes. So we're starting with Conquest and starter items. Now, with most Guardians playing in the support role, you have one of two options for your starter item. You can go to Mark the Vanguard, which allows you to be a lot more tankier with the increased protections and the passive. So let's say if you want to be really aggressive and you don't want to get too punished from it, because you know when you start fighting in the earlier stages of the game, especially if you're around the enemy minions or jungle camps and they start hitting you, they do a lot of damage. So to help mitigate all that out, you might look forward to buying the Mark the Vanguard for your starter item. However, the more popular starter item for Guardians in the support role, I would say, is definitely the Watcher's Gift. With this passive, allows you to both sustain in health and mana, and as well as get a increased gold income, because you might notice this over the course of just playing Smite and Conquest specifically for a while. You notice that for Guardians in the support role, they tend to fall behind compared to everybody else in the terms of both the gold and XP, and at least Watcher's Gift will help you in that gold area. So let's just go ahead and pick up the Watcher's Gift. Now, as far as boots, you can honestly go into either one of these boots. It really depends on what is your purpose and also personal preference. So obviously, if you're looking to do damage, Shoes of the Magi or Shoes of Focus, which I highly recommend this for an overall build, regardless if you're like maybe jungling or solo lane. I feel like cooldown reduction is one of the main stats for TERRA besides the obvious protection and health, considering she is also a healer, and having your heal on a lower cooldown is very, very crucial, and it can help you a lot. You know, it can save enemies in really clutch, intense situations, as well as her ultimate is a global buff to all allies, which provides a lot of good stats, and just having that on a lower cooldown, it's just a huge benefit. So I highly recommend going to that. Or let's say if you want to be tankier, or the enemy team has a lot of crowd control gods, then you might look into the reinforced shoes. Or you could go into the Traveler Shoes looking for the passive for the faster rotation time, as well as having that extra gold income on top of your Watcher's Gift. The choice is yours, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up these Shoes of Focus. Now, what you build after your boots of choice, it really depends on personal preference. Some people might like to rush the Breastplate of Valor right after your boots. Now, this is perfectly fine. It can work very well. The only downside to rushing Breastplate is you're going to go quite a while without any extra health, which health is obviously pretty important if you're looking to be tanky. So while this can work, what you want to do is the item you pick up right after Breastplate of Valor, you want to make sure that item has health. So in this case, if you went into your Breastplate of Valor, which obviously it only gives you physical protection with no HP. So your next item, you might want to look into an item that has both magical protection and HP. So items like Borg of Hope is really strong, and as well as Hallward Amulet. I feel like these are the two biggest and the best magical protection items out there. Now, Pestilence is obviously very, very good if you have actual use for it. You know, the enemy team has healers or multiple high health regeneration gods like Shog, Vamana, and Hercules. So you can do something like this for your start, or if you don't want Breastplate of Valor, that's perfectly fine. Another good physical protection item to invest into would be the Sovereignty item. Another thing to note, in case if you may not know, the aura stats actually apply to you. It's not just for your allies, so you will be getting that additional 30 physical protections for that aura. So this Sovereignty item actually has 60 physical protection for you, so it's a really strong item to invest into. As well as the aura effect, you can make pretty good use out of it, considering you're a melee guardian, and as well as you spend quite a bit of time near your allies with the, you know, placing down your healing and whatnot. If you don't want to go into either of those and you prefer an item that has both physical and magical protection, kind of like what I do, you might want to go into Hide the Urchin right after your boots. Now, this item is really, really good if you can manage to get stacks on it. Now, let's say if you're very unfortunate and you're on the losing side and you're not getting any stacks for the Hide the Urchins, then the item is not that good at all. So it's one of those risky items. However, if you do plan to buy this item, make sure you either buy it early on, or you can buy it later, but you might want to be on the winning team, so that way you can ensure you can get these stacks and make sure the gold invest into this item is actually worth it. But for now, I'm just going to go into the normal Sovereignty and picking up the Borg of Hope. Now, since Terra is one of the guardians that can actually heal, there are some items that you can invest to help augment those heals. So for example, let's go into Lotus Crown here. As you can see, it's a very cheap item. It gives you magical power, 60 of it, which is pretty good to allow you to do more damage, as well as increase your healing potency, as well as it does make you more tankier. It's not like a strictly mage only item. It does provide you with 30 flat physical protection. But the big thing about Lotus Crown, you probably already know, but once you go ahead and place down your 3 to heal, or maybe you're able to proc to heal on your ultimate, you do gain a shield that provides you and any allies affected by your healing, increases their protection by 20 for both physical and magical. Like, let's say even if you have your full HP bar, you know, you're not taking any damage, you will still get the health shield, or not health shield, but a protection shield, as you see by the big old green bubble around me. So from here, let's say if you didn't pick up Breastplate of Valor early on, or let's say you even did, I would still recommend picking up Mantle of Discord if you can afford it safely towards the later stages of the game. Because if you could pick it up as like your item slot on your 6th slot here, or maybe you like pick something else there, you can sell your starter item and then pick up Mantle of Discord. The point is, if you can get this item in the 5th or 6th item slot, it'd be plenty worth it, considering it allows you to have a lot more protection, and the cooldown reduction is very important. So let's say if you went into something like a Breastplate of Valor early on, so let's go ahead and go into that, then you picked up Mantle of Discord. With these items alone, you have a decent amount of both physical and magical protection. This is without proccing the Lotus Crown, and obviously this is with still having your starter item. You have a good amount of health, you have 2700 HP, and once you hold tab and hover over the yellow hammer, it shows you your utility stats. And here you can find that you already have a full cooldown reduction build. Now I think you are capping by 5%. Yeah, you are capping over by 5%, but that's not too big of a deal. The point is, once you go ahead and open up your abilities, that's not your abilities. Once you go ahead and open up your abilities, you can check this out here. So your monolith duration can last up to 10 seconds. Of course, you might want to just drop this down and blow it up so you can root all enemies in it. But let's say you can bring it up and just hold it for 10 seconds. It'll be back up within 10.8 seconds. So you can constantly spam this ability and heal all your allies constantly. Of course, as long as you have mana. So that's one neat thing about having cap cooldown reduction on Terra. So as far as other items that you can build into, like let's say you're not a fan of Mantle of Discord, or you're not a fan of Lotus Crown, what other items can you build into? It's mostly situational. I can highly recommend Meg Guardian Mail. It's a very strong item. Maybe you're fighting a lot of gods that are building into crit items, then you might invest into High Mini Lion. Or if mages are giving you a problem, then maybe Hardward Amulet or Brog of Hope, whichever one you didn't pick up beforehand. Maybe if you want a cheaper version of Mantle of Discord, because you can't afford Mantle of Discord, you know, it's a really expensive item, then the cheaper version of the item would just be Spirit Robe. But for now, let's say if you went to this build, you can go back, sell your starter item, and then you can go into another item that's pretty cool on Terra. You can go into the Rod of Asclepius. Another item that kind of augments your heals. It gives you more magical power, more health, which is still good for being a tank, obviously. Movement speed, nice little bonus, but the aura effect is where you're looking at. It increases your healing and health regeneration of all allies within 70 units by 20%. So between having this item and Lotus Crown, you have a decent amount of magical power, so it can really enhance your healing, and you can do a lot of healing done with these two items. Now going into Arena real quickly, the build is pretty much the same, except you just don't go into a starter item. Me personally, I really like hiding the urchins, so I'd pick it up definitely in Arena. It will look something like this. Shoots at focus, go into Urchin, make sure to pick it up early on. Then I'll go to Breastplate, then your magical protection item of choice. For now, let's just go into Brog of Hope. And then I would go into those healing items, I guess you would call them, Lotus Crown and Rod of Asclepius, or maybe not Rod of Asclepius, and maybe you prefer another cooldown reduction item like Mantle or Spirit Robe. It's honestly up to you. So it will look something like that. So that's going to wrap it up for the build video. Might have been a little bit longer than the normal, but see you guys next time. Hopefully it was helpful and provided you with ideas on what to build for your Terra. So yeah, peace.